Hey, this is Brad with Down by the River Productions, and today we're here at our super secret facility.
Oceanside.
Shut up, Tony!
It's on the website.
We're here. We're going to take a look at our latest build. It's a 159-inch wheelbase Ram ProMaster 2500 with a high top. Let's take a look inside. As you can see, one second. That's a little better. Come on in, we'll have a look around.
You can see the tree.
If you take a look around, you'll notice we've gone with a whitewash theme throughout the van. The ceiling planks, the walls in the bedroom, as well as the door covers and our bench all got a whitewash pickling stain, as well as 7 coats of water-based polyurethane. The polyurethane adds a really nice amount of depth to the color, as well as maximum durability for all the surfaces. We kept the white theme going in the kitchen with a white subway tile backsplash, flat white cabinet faces on the upper and lower cabinets, which I know you can't see right now. Even the floor, which I also know you can't see right now, has a nice whitewash theme to it. As far as construction materials go, I use maple for almost everything. I chose maple for its rigidity, its overall durability, and its shear strength. Beyond that, we've got some really nice facing materials, pine on the ceiling, FRP for the backsplash, which is basically indestructible, as well as vinyl plank flooring like you would find in a high-end home, which is also basically indestructible. So let's go over all that in a little bit of detail. In the kitchen, we've got a 2-burner electric range, as well as a designer sink and faucet, and both of those are encased in this beautiful walnut butcher block countertop. Just a little bit of butcher block oil on this thing, and it really brings out the vibrance of all the colors and all the grains, and it's also food safe, so if you had to, you could eat off of it. Let's take a closer look at this sink. In this van, I've chosen to undermount the sink to showcase a little bit more of that walnut butcher block countertop and give the van more of a modern feel. We've got kind of an industrial style faucet over here with an extension hose. Excuse me. We're using a SureFlow water pump, which is really nice and efficient, quiet, and puts out the same amount of pressure you'd expect from any household faucet. Over here we've got a Summit 2-burner electric range. It is not induction, so you don't need any specific pots or pans to cook your food on. And it gets nice and hot super quick, so we are not going to turn it on. For the backsplash, we've gone with the super durable, super easy to clean material known as FRP. It looks gorgeous in this white subway tile, brings a nice modern touch to this kitchen, and will easily last the life of the van. Underneath the cabinets, we've got 3 LEDs. Turn them on there and illuminates the entire kitchen area and work surface behind me. Up top, we've got 3 cabinets for food storage and whatnot, and inside, they've got absolutely nothing. Underneath the sink, we've got our 2 5-gallon jugs, one for fresh water and one for gray water. The reason I go with 5-gallon jugs is because I find that it gives you a fair amount of water, but are still small enough to carry whether or not they are full. That way you don't have to bring the water source to you. You can fill it up wherever is convenient and dump it as you please. Over here you've got our SureFlow water pump, as well as a filter going into the pump, and there you'll see our electrical connection for the 2-burner range, which leads directly back to the inverter. As I mentioned before, that whitewash theme runs into our vinyl plank flooring. This particular flooring has an added layer on the back for a little bit of sound dampening from road noise, as well as a thermal barrier. This stuff is ultra durable, 100% waterproof. I have dropped a drill on this face down without so much of a scratch. We've also added this stainless steel edge for added durability and to keep that modern theme running throughout the van. Moving on, this is probably my favorite part of the van. This is our little bench area, but it is also kind of a hidden music studio. You'll see some plugs here. We've got a TRS output for headphones, a TRS input for guitars and other instruments, as well as 2 mic inputs. These are just open holes for USBs or whatever other cables you may need to come in and out of your keyboard, sound card, and computer. And this is the light switch I was hitting before for the lights above the studio area and the kitchen area. So the first component of this little studio area is this large drawer you see here. I'll give it a tug and open it to reveal our keyboard. Fold the face down so your wrists aren't hitting the drawer face, and you can play the piano there. This will all be connected to a sound card and a laptop and be powered by an amplifier that is hidden in this cabinet. Now you might be looking at this saying that is a very awkward way to try and play the piano. I couldn't agree more. So we've come up with this. Ta-da! Now you've got a nice comfortable area to sit, play the piano, and if this bad boy is plugged in, I could prove to you that I do not know how to play the piano. So I'm not really a big fan of showing you this way, but I don't really have another choice. So under here, we've got our beautiful JL amp that is running the 2 speakers in the back as well as this JL sub. Made the box from scratch to match the acoustic requirements of that sub, which provides really nice, clean, smooth, high fidelity bass. Other than that, in here we've just got our power outlets as well as our fuse box and circuit breaker for our 2-burner stove. So aside from our little hidden bench here for the studio area, our bench does a couple other things. We've got storage underneath, down here, full length, and then we've also got a little compartment that leads to the back. If you need to store something long, this customer is a surfer like myself, so if you've got a longer board that you need to keep inside the van in a sketchy area, you just slide it through this hole. Also gives you nice access to the back if you don't want to get out of the van and walk around to get something you stowed back there. On the front of the bench, you'll notice this little mount here, and that is for our lag-in table system, and I'll show you how that works right now. Take your leg, which does come apart. I've just got it together for convenience here. Slide it onto this mount. Tighten it up. Grab your tabletop here. Slide that bad boy in. Over. Now you've got a nice surface to eat at, I don't know, what else do you do at a table? I guess just eat. You could just sit here. You could read.
Nerd.
Rude. Over here on the wall, just left of when you enter the van, you have your light switch for the ceiling lights, which is actually a little dimmer. Give you a little bit of options. And you can see that I continued the planks from the ceiling on this wall right here that kind of runs into the maple wall that just kind of ties the whole van together and gives it a nice aesthetic. We want to take a look at the window and the sliding door. This is a Sierra Lawrence T-vent window. It opens up with this little knob here. And this window, combined with the max fan we have mounted in the ceiling, provides a ton of good airflow. So it really keeps the air moving in the van to keep you nice and comfortable. Beyond that, you'll notice that I did a little bit of upholstery work around the edge of this window. This van did come to me used, and there was a fair amount of damage in this area from I don't even know what before we put the window in. So we covered that up with some nice black headliner material to make it fit in and look like a nice new van. Other than that, door panels, upper and lower, are both maple ply and have that whitewash pickling stain that we like so much. Installed in the ceiling, we have the fanciest of fancy Max Air fans. This thing comes with a remote and is 100% automatic, so you just hit a button. It opens itself, it turns itself on. If you don't feel like using the remote, just click this button right here. It's also got a temperature sensor right here, so if you hit and hold this, it will keep the internal temperature of the van at a comfortable 78 degrees Fahrenheit. Fancy. Behind me, we've got the bed area, room for a true full-size bed, surrounded by this beautiful maple with the whitewash pickling, pine ceilings above, and a pair of JL Audio woofers and tweeters that are connected to that sound system I showed you before. So you can have a nice night in, listen to some tunes, on a nice and comfy bed. Is it comfy? I'd say so. Wouldn't you? It's comfy. Underneath, we've got all of our electronics, our batteries, the inverter, charge controllers, as well as an outdoor shower. So let's go take a look. We're here at the back of the van where I'm going to show you all the electronics that run this thing, the outdoor shower, as well as where this bad boy goes. Over here we have our rover charge controller. This handles any power coming off your solar panels on the roof, dumping it into the battery. Behind here we've got a 3,000 watt inverter charger. That handles any power coming from the shore power inlet, which is just over here, and dumps that into the battery. It also takes any 12 volt energy and turns it into 120 volt AC. Behind that we've got our 2 batteries for a total of 400 amp hours, as well as all of our fuses in here, which I'll show you a close up in just a second. Over here we've got our big Kahuna portable shower. This is a power shower. Just take it off, press the button, and if there was water in there, it would come out, and I'd be all wet. That's why I didn't put water in. A little closer look inside of our battery bank. So here you have our inverter charger, all of its options. Right now it's just on. These are our 2 batteries. Those are mounted and bolted to the frame of the van because they are very heavy. Over here we have our regular fuse box and all of our fuses for our lights, fans, and pumps. This is the combination for our LEDs. That is a fuse for the solar panels, and this is the fuse for our alternator charger. All contained in this little box. And if you're wondering why it's full of holes, it is because inverter chargers get hot and they need to breathe. So containing them in such a small space requires you to provide a little bit of ventilation to keep that thing nice and cool. It's got its own fans on there that push and pull either way to keep it nice and cool and functioning properly. Before we miss the entire point of having this thing, let me show you where this goes. Our beautiful roof deck, 100% California redwood. Beautiful red and blonde tones in that. Redwood can withstand just about anything, but we've added a little bit of Thompson's water seal to ensure some durability. This is attached to Vantech ladder racks. Great load bearing capacity. Attached with those carriage bolts right into the crossbar, no extra drilling necessary. Beyond that, you can see our 2 solar panels as well as our max fan that I forgot to take the protective cover off of. And beyond that, pretty amazing sunset, which is why you have a roof deck in the first place, right? Well, that's it. Thanks for joining me on another walkthrough, listening to my terrible jokes, and watching me pretend I have a friend.
I'm your friend, buddy.
Aw, thanks, Tony. If you'd like to see detailed photos of this build or any past builds, you can visit downbytheriverproductions.com or on Instagram at downbytheriverproductions. Have a great whatever time of day it is for you. Oh, they can still see me.